Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to Zipmouth Motivation. I'm your host, Damasha K. And today we are going to talk about a word that most people either run from or they romanticize. And so we're going to talk about discipline today. Take a breath. I want y'all to take a breath with me. Let me tell you something. Discipline is not a punishment. It's not about being rigid or robotic or even perfect. A lot of times we get into this space to where we feel like we have to be perfect. Like everything has to go right. And then we get into these robotic movements where we say like everybody does the same thing, everybody moves the same way because we feel like that's discipline. But discipline is more than that. Discipline is self-love. It's an act of self-love. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. And I know for some people that might sound crazy because it's like, now how is discipline going to be the bridge between who I am now and who I want to become? But just go with me for a second. A lot of times, like when we're trying to go to that next level in our life, the lack of discipline is what stops us from getting there. And I'm not talking about the kind of discipline where you're being hard on yourself and you beating yourself up for like the smallest things, or you feeling like I'm not going to be able to succeed, or I'm not going to be able to make it to the top, or this is happening and that is happening. No, I'm not talking about those moments. I'm talking about the moments where you love and appreciate yourself so much that you are unstoppable. Unstoppable. So before we dig deep, deep, deep into this, let's take another breath. Let's inhale it and then blow it out. And if you're listening to this on 101.5 Indie Radio, I want to tell you that I appreciate you so much. I appreciate every new follower. I appreciate every new listener. I appreciate you all so, so much. This episode is also powered by Takaya Divine Tea. If you are serious about your discipline, sip on our focus blend. If you would like to know how you can order some of Takaya Divine Tea, please email me at DEE1208-2001 at gmail.com or dlovelymotivation at gmail.com. And I can send you over a link. Right now, the website is under construction, but 101.5 Indie Radio Zipmouth Motivation Show is powered by Takaya Divine Tea. So we're going to step on into where discipline can take us, what discipline really is. We've been conditioned over time to think that discipline is a form of punishment, or it means to be hard on yourself, or it means to, I'm not going to say abuse someone, but put your hands on them or chastise them. But what if I told you, what if I said this? What if I said that it is actually an act of kindness? And it's probably like one of the kindest things that you could do or give or understand for yourself. Discipline is definitely a form of devotion, and devotion is your vision, your purpose, your future. A lot of times we don't even understand or know what our next step is. If you really think about it, like we have all these graduating college students and high school students, they're all graduating and they're getting ready to do major things. But then you have some that don't know what they're about to do. They don't know what space they're about to go in. They don't know what the next step is to life. They don't know anything except for I made it out of college. I made it out of high school. I made it. So if we could teach them that discipline is a form of devotion, maybe that would support them in what their next step could be. Being disciplined about creating a vision. What is it that you want to do? Where do you want to go? Being disciplined about finding your purpose in life. But let's be real though. Like, let's be real. There was definitely a time in my life when I had no vision, no bliss, no discipline. I talk good, I talk bad, but my habits were bad. They didn't match. Like, they didn't match. Like I said, I want to be successful, but what I was doing wasn't creating success. My lack of discipline wasn't creating success. My lack of vision wasn't creating success. And I feel like I paid for that. I feel like I paid for that. I can remember like being young and my mom telling me like, you better work hard while you're young, so when you get older, you don't have to work so hard. And I'm thinking like, girl, YOLO, we going to the club tonight or what? Like, I'm not even paying it attention. I'm thinking about all the stuff that I want and not the stuff that I need, because I had a lack of discipline. And I feel like I paid for that. I feel like I missed the opportunity. Money was lost. Time was wasted. But when I flipped and I switched, when I committed to the small and consistent actions, everything shifted for me. Everything. And I'm going to say that again. When I committed and I switched, everything shifted for me. Discipline gave me a confidence. Like, it gave me a confidence that I needed there, or that I didn't know I needed. Because I had never been real disciplined in too many things. But when I started to become disciplined was when I was like, oh my goodness, like I did this, I did that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buckle down and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get my master's degree. It was a great idea. I felt like it at the moment. And then when I started doing it, that thing started getting hard. Here I am, a single mom with 2 small children. I have to go to work. I'm thinking like, how am I going to do this? But guess what? I missed a lot of parties. I missed a lot of hanging out. I missed a lot of go here and go there. I missed a lot of things. But discipline provided that confidence that I needed to be successful and be where I am now. And how powerful is it for you to gain confidence? And that's what discipline does for you. It helps you gain that confidence that you need to know, like, if you accomplish one thing, you can accomplish another thing. If you accomplish that thing, you can accomplish this thing. Like it provides that boost for you. A lot of times people don't want to be disciplined because we look at discipline as if it's some punishment. Like, this thing is going to take us out if we do it. If I be strict on myself and I say like, I'm only focusing on this thing, it's going to take me out. No way. No way, because when you complete that thing, you're going to be so excited. You're going to be like, oh, well, listen, if I did my master's degree, I could do my doctorate degree. Okay, if I did, and just self-disclosing, if I said to myself, I'm not going to spend anything for 2 years, I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to make sure that my credit's right. I'm not going to use no credit cards. I'm going to just continue on growing. I did that for 2 years and I did not even pay attention. Once that first year was over, the next year became routine. So when you start disciplining yourself, you start getting into this routine of life that promotes your growth, that promotes health, that promotes wealth. Quote of the day: discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And that's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. What do you want right now compared to what you want most? Because, as you get older, things that you want change. Things that you need change. And write it down and put it on the mirror. What do I want right now in my life? But what do I want most in my life? And compare and contrast the two and see the areas where you need the discipline. Let's talk about resistance, because we feel around discipline and we just kind of like, I'm going to be disciplined this week. Next week, I'm going to fall off. And sometimes we know, like, yeah, this is kind of hard. I don't think I want to do it. I've heard a lot of people say that. I'm like, well, you need discipline in your life. Discipline that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be disciplined. Discipline meant punishment to a lot of us. It meant control. So we associate structure with pain. Like when they say like, my parents gonna discipline me for whatever, you thinking like you about to get your behind toe up, or you about to be on punishment, can't use the phone, can't go outside, can't do all these. You're thinking about all these control tactics. But you got to remember what I said in the beginning. Discipline is an act of self-love. So if you love yourself, then you will structure yourself. A lot of times people grow up upset with their parents because maybe their parents were quote unquote strict. Maybe they were protective. And I don't want to say strict because some parents are just protective. They want to keep you safe. But when you get older, you think about that structure that they put into your life and you like, that's amazing. That is amazing. Like I said, some of us are so used to discipline, meaning control, that we don't look at it any other way. We don't look at the structure behind the discipline. But then we have others that do not want to be disciplined because we're addicted to the high of distractions. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Because who's addicted to the high of distractions? We are. We are addicted to social media. We are addicted to junk food. We are addicted to everything being fast for us. I just told someone a couple of days ago, I was like, yeah, they came over and they was, wanted to eat, and I had cooked some food and they were making a plate and it was like, where's the microwave? I was like, I haven't had a microwave in almost 3 years. Because I can wait for my food to cook or warm on the oven or warm in the oven or however I want to do it at the moment. I can wait for it. I'm not addicted to something moving fast anymore. But that's what discipline does for you. How hard was it to remove a microwave out of my house? Very hard. Very hard, because I have two sons and so they like to eat and they want everything to be fast. But that's us being addicted to distractions. And that's where we have to get from in order to allow discipline to play a major part in our life. But here's a little truth, right? When you avoid discipline, you avoid growth. And when you avoid growth, you stay stuck. Blaming, numbing, and repeating. That's all you do. You blame, you numb, you repeat. Because when you're in that stuck mode, you feel sad, you feel depressed, you feel like you're just continuously hitting like this brick wall. You feel like you can't get up. A lot of times it's just the discipline. It's the fact that you don't have discipline in your life. Reflect for a moment. Where in your life are you avoiding discipline? And what is it costing you? Really think about that. Where are you avoiding discipline and what is it costing you to avoid doing something that is going to be essentially great for you in your life? And no, I'm not saying like you have to do it. I'm just saying think about it. I'm just saying grasp hold of a different perspective of the difference between being distracted and being disciplined. The difference between what you want now and what you really want. Because a lot of us are okay settling. We'll look at our life and say, oh, I live a good life. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with that. But then we'll be by ourselves and we'll start thinking like, I really want XYZ thing. I really want to do this. And I feel like I'm never going to be able to do it. That's why I'm just getting comfortable and stuck in this space. And stop. Because now you're going through that blaming thing. But you're going back to the blaming. You're going back to the numbing. Because the numbing is the settling part. And then you're repeating this cycle over and over and over and over again. And if you've been listening to me any amount of time, you know, like I talk about cycles a lot, because cycles are where we get stuck. Cycles are where we don't allow ourselves to grow and to become who we need to be. And I'm not going to say, like I said, discipline is not about being perfect. Discipline is about trying. It's about trying. What is an undisciplined life costing you? Lack of discipline has a price. No matter what we want, no matter how we want to make it seem, it has a price. Financially, if you lack discipline, you overspend, or you stay broke, or both, or both. Because a lot of times that can happen. It's the lack of discipline, the lack of financial discipline, not understanding where you should put your money, how you should put your money, where you should spend your money. It's just not understanding the different things that are costing you everything. Physically, you feel tired, you feel inflamed, you feel disconnected. I am a big component on the fact that people are not old. I remember being young and people like living to like 100, 103, 120, 115, 110, 105. Like I remember people living to that age. And I think that because of the distractions that we allow in our life, we allow in our life, junk food and different social media, laying around, not getting out and getting active, that the age of 40 something seems quote unquote old to people. How is that? How is that age old to people? Because that's really not an old age if you're living to 105, 110, 120. It's not that old. But physically, if you're not disciplined enough to get up and move your body, if you're not disciplined to listen to the warning signs in your body and do something about them, if you're not disciplined to stay away from junk food, things that make your heart bad or make you have high cholesterol or high blood pressure, if you're not disciplined enough to do those things, then that's what's going to be connected in your life, and you're going to feel disconnected. Emotional discipline. You snap on folks. You act out or you love chaos. I think I was just telling somebody a few weeks ago, I was like, man, I don't know what happened to the social media platforms, but now all I see is fights. And I don't think that people realize that when you sit and you watch fight after fight after fight after fight, what it does to your spirit, what it does to your mind, what it does to your emotions, it keeps you in survival mode. And if you're constantly in survival mode, you'll never see discipline as something, as an act of self-love. Because during survival mode, we're not loving on ourselves. We're just passing by. We are literally just passing by in life. So that emotional discipline, understanding what you should do and what you shouldn't do, understanding how to regulate those emotions, that is important stuff, y'all. That is important stuff. It's important to create a space for you where you are emotionally sound. And how do you do that? By being disciplined. By being disciplined. So we got 3: financial, overspending. You stay broke. Who want to be broke? Nobody. Physically, you feel tired, you feel inflamed, you feel disconnected. Emotional, you snap on folks. You're attracted to chaos. I thought about it the other day. I watched this video, or I saw this video because I don't even think I watched the whole thing. So I saw this video, and in the video, these 2 girls, they're like fighting. But as I'm looking around in the video, people just have their phones. Nobody is literally trying to break this fight up. Nobody's trying to do anything about it. They just got their phones and they just watching. When did we start doing that? Emotionally, when did we start doing that? When did we become so disconnected and this became such a normal thing that we no longer even say, you know what, y'all need to go into spaces. You leave, and I'm gonna leave because obviously something is wrong with me that I'm sitting here watching this video in it and not trying to stop it. I don't think people know the pain that you feel and the trauma that you put on your body when you're fighting somebody. But I'm gonna let that be. Spiritually, when you don't have discipline spiritually, you feel loose and not aligned. You feel like I'm not in the space where I need to be, and I want to connect with. If you believe in God, I want to connect with God. Whatever you believe in, you want to make that connection because that's what we feel loved. That's where we feel our first love because we are spiritual beings. So if we're spiritual people, then we want to be connected to the source. So whatever your source is, you have to be disciplined all the time to connect with that source. And you can do it. You literally can do this. It's really about choice. It's really about what you want to do. What's important to you? What do you need versus what you need most? What do you want versus what you want most? We don't talk about this enough, but discipline protects your peace. And I'm not talking about setting boundaries, but are really walls, because sometimes we set boundaries, but we're not even at peace with the situation. And I know people are going to say, well, I set the boundary to become at peace. But then when that situation comes back into your life, you find out that you really wasn't healed from it because you didn't set a boundary. You put up a wall. So I have one journal prompt is, if I stay undisciplined for the next 5 years, what will my life look like? I'm going to say it again. If I stay undisciplined for the next 5 years, what would my life look like? Don't just think about it. Write it down. Look at it. And let it convict you. Because this is going to determine how you feel about yourself. How you feel about your purpose, your passion, your goals, your vision. How do you feel about those things? So if you stay like this, undisciplined for the next 5 years, not even trying, where will your life, where's your life going to be? What will your life be like? I don't think all the time we really think deep about who we are and what we want to be and what we're doing. And I don't care how old you are, because I'm just a person, I just don't believe certain ages are old. Working in the field that I worked in for many years, I've talked to people who are telling me they're 98 years old, but they're still driving. They're still, they're living alone. They're taking care of themselves. They're going to play pool. They're going out with their friends. They're going to the Bahamas, all kind of things like that. So you're not going to tell me that these people weren't disciplined at some point in their life. Whether that discipline was to create financial freedom, or that discipline was to create physical, but in some kind of, they did both. They did both of them. They did both of them. And that's the space that we want to be in. We want to be in the space where we can say, all right, being undisciplined not getting me anywhere, but this will help me get to the next level if I become disciplined. They say it takes 30 days to change a habit. I say it takes 90. Because it's so easy to go back into that habit within that 30 and 60 days to just flip back and say, but after 90 days, you kind of oh, that was easy. I did that for 3 months. And then if you don't think about it, you go further without even knowing. Like I just told you, I said, for 2 years, I'm not spending this, and this. I'm not doing any of that. So for that span of time, I did not do any of that. And then when someone said, well, you did good for 2 years, you ain't been, I was like, what? Let me pat myself on the back. Because after a while, it just became a normal thing to be more conscious about what I'm doing, being more conscious of being more disciplined. And that's what's important. Now, let's flip this. Because not only do I want to talk to you about discipline, I want you to know how to become more disciplined. Because that's the disconnect. The real disconnect is the fact that a lot of times we don't know how to become disciplined. How do we start to build discipline? Because who wants to be punished? Because that's how we look at discipline. But I want you to flip your perspective into, this is the way that I'm going to display the love for myself. I don't know why that song is playing in my head. Show my love for you. Let me show my love for you. So when somebody's showing love to you, they're showing you that discipline side of them. When you're showing love to yourself, you're showing yourself that disciplined side of you. So let's flip this for a while. The first step in becoming more disciplined is start small. Don't go out there saying like, all right, now I'm gonna be like, don't pick something that's like, come on, okay? Like really think about what it is that you want to start small at. Pick one thing, whether it's getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's my new discipline thing. I need to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to get to the gym, and then I need to come back home and I need to handle the rest of my business. That's my new thing. That's my new state of discipline. So start small. I had I think it was it Terry Tucker? I think it was Terry Tucker. I can't remember. I had someone on my show, and I'm gonna have to go back and try to find it and copy it into this show. I had a gentleman on here, and he was saying like he met someone, and they wanted to go to the gym. So he told them the first step to do is take your clothes out. And it was so funny because he said that person did that week after week. They just took their clothes out. They never went to the gym, but they were taking their clothes out. And then he said, well, after that, take your gym bag out. And then after that, put your clothes inside the gym bag. Then after that, take your clothes in your gym bag, everything together, and put it inside your car. Next thing you know, you're in the car cranking up and you're ready to go. And you at the gym. Even if you have to drive to the gym and not get out the car. But do that small thing. Because you can do it. You literally can do this. Stacked habits. Anchor new habits. Anchor new habits to something you already do. So per se, you go to, okay, so I'll self-disclose again. I'm telling y'all all my business. So usually I go to the gym and I'll walk the treadmill in incline, and I'll do that for 30 minutes. And then I might do another 15 minutes kind of like jogging a little bit, you know? So lately I'm like, all right, I'm getting on the treadmill and I'm gonna go and incline and I'm just gonna jog from the gate. I'm just no holds bar, like no holds bars. I'm jogging from the gate and I'm pushing myself. So the other day I realized that I jogged the whole 30 minutes because it went so fast. The whole 30 minutes I jogged. So the last 15 minutes, guess what I did? I walked because I was tired. I was definitely tired. I was tired. But at the same time, I added something to something I already do. I already go to the gym. So why not implement something else into that? So if you already have a habit and you don't know what habit that you want to add to, pick something and push yourself. And then number 3, let's remove fictitious. Set up your environment to support you. Put your journal out. Lay your clothes out. Boil your tea. Get in the mood. Like I love when you get up and you start getting in the mood of things. Like I have to get up in the morning time. I want to put on my music. It makes me feel good. It might make me late sometime because I end up dancing or singing and rewinding the song or something. But for the most part, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm setting my atmosphere for me. And sometimes you have to set the atmosphere to be able to thrive. Because if your atmosphere is disconnected, is discombobulated, that's going to make you that way. So then it's going to be hard to display the discipline. When you can, but it's like, man, it's so chaotic in here. Set your atmosphere. I don't care who you live with. I don't care who's around. If your atmosphere is a room, a 4x4 room, and I know nobody probably don't have a room that size, but if your atmosphere is a 4x4 room, set that atmosphere. If your atmosphere is a box, set the atmosphere for your growth, for your empowerment, for your purpose, for your motivation, for your change, for your discipline. Set the atmosphere. I think another important thing is number 4. And I love number 4 because this is important. And this might feel like I'm contradicting a little bit, but I'm going to explain. Use systems over motivation. Motivation is a vibe. Zipmouth Motivation, I'm a vibe. But at the same time, you need that systems. You need the structure from the system. It's okay, be motivated. Get up, put on some motivated music. You know what I'm saying? But also have in your mind, like, how are you going to run this thing? Like, what's the steps that I'm taking to get to this next step where I'm trying to go? Because yeah, we can get up here and we can, like, life is going to be so good. I see you being powerful. Wake up, we can do all of that, right? But if you have no systems and no structure, you're not going nowhere. I can wake up and I can wake up every day with, and this is part of the reason why I don't do daily motivations. I just do random motivations and call them daily motivations. But part of the reason is sometimes it's not the motivation. The motivation is going to get you there, yeah. But the system and the structure is what's going to keep you there. And so it's important to have both. It's important to vibe. But just like me getting on here and I'm telling you all about discipline, I'm motivating you to be strong, but I'm also getting you the steps to be strong. Because if I don't give you the steps, then you're going to just be like, okay, yeah, I feel good. I feel empowered. But you know what? I need to look on, see what's happening on TikTok. Oh, somebody liked my stuff on Facebook. Oh, wait, they on Instagram. Oh, let me do a video for Twitch. That's how you're going to be. It's not going to matter. And you might think about my motivation, but you're going to think about those systems, that steps, how we got to the space of building the discipline, starting small, stacking habits, removing fictitious, using systems over motivation. And the last one, of course, because we can't even move without this one, is spiritual tools to help. Because those are systems that support us, things that calm us down, rituals, whatever it is that you get up in the morning and you do, it's a ritual. I don't care what y'all say. It is a ritual because I'm religiously doing this thing over and over again until I make this thing a part of my life. And this is where we miss the steps. Because when we start using discipline, we forget that discipline has to now become a part of your life. You can't just use discipline when you want to use discipline and then put discipline down. That's not fair. You have to get up and you have to structure, make these systems work for you, for your success, for your purpose, for your value, for the things that you want to have in life. And that's the important thing. Let's do an exercise together, right? Pick one area of your life. Just one, not a whole bunch. I just want you to pick one area. Now, I want you to list 3 disciplined actions you can start today. Start small, start simple, start soulful. Pick one area of your life. Now I said one. Now don't get this piece of paper and start putting a whole bunch of stuff on there. I want you to get this piece of paper and I want you to write one. Now list 3 disciplined actions you can start today. Right now, while you're listening to this podcast, when you get done listening, you turn this thing off. I want you to move forward. So what can you start today? Start small and start simple and start soulful. Let's make this thing happen. I'm going to go back to the steps one more time because I want y'all to get this. I want you to understand how to build discipline. Start small, number 1. Use stacked habits. If you have something that you're already doing, but you want to take it further, let's go further. Let's set up the system to take that thing further. Remove the friction. Set up your environment to be for you. I love my home because it's peaceful. When people come into my home, they fall asleep. They literally fall asleep. They get tired all of a sudden. They wasn't tired before. They say it all the time. I wasn't tired before I got here, but when I got here, I got tired. Of course you did, because this is a place of peace. This atmosphere has to be good for me to do what I need to do. Especially like if you're one of those people like me, like I can't even get on the podcast unless my house is clean. I'm like, I gotta clean up my house before I can't do anything until I get everything cleaned. Use the systems over the motivation. Yes, I'm motivated to get out of the bed and put my clothes out. I'm motivated to be encouraged to know that I don't have to carry weight. I'm motivated to do things, but like how am I gonna do that? Like you need systems. You need systems. You need structure. You need structure and systems. And you still need the motivation because the motivation is a vibe. Now take those spiritual tools that you have, that belief, that encouragement, that strength. You take those things and you add them all together with there. You add them all together and you push them. And you set up a system of structure that helps you be valued, that helps you grow, that helps you feel empowered, that gives you back your confidence. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm going to take it a step further. But discipline in some communities, especially, and I always tell y'all, I can only talk about the African American community because that is the community that I'm a part of, because I am African American or Black American or Black or whatever y'all want to call. I don't care. My name is Demasha. But in our community, discipline has been distorted. We were taught to survive, not to thrive. So there's always a disconnect as it pertains to discipline when it comes to our community. So I have to speak to us a little bit different. Discipline felt like a pressure. Like it's not powerful to be disciplined because we were only taught survival. But discipline is in our bloodline. It is literally in our bloodline. Our ancestors didn't just survive, they built. So they took those songs, and I know like people always like, oh, he's singing spirituals or whatever. They took those songs and it helped them build. They sing them in unison to do what it needs to do, with whatever they needed to do to get to the next step. They created systems, rhythms, structure, even under pressure. So every time somebody, like in my community or somebody that I know, they always like, oh, I don't feel like it, I don't want to. I'll be looking at them like, what? Come on now. We stronger than that. We were built stronger than that. We are structure. We are rhythm. We are created to create systems. So we can't let things continue to hold us back and make excuses, because although we were taught to survive and not thrive, there's more to life. There's more to life than just waking up doing the same mundane thing day after day after day after day. There's more to life than staying stuck in that survival mode. If you create the discipline and you disconnect from certain things, then you will see that thriving coming into your life. So why are we glorifying chaos? Why are we saying like this is okay? Because it's not okay. It's not okay. If we want to be liberated or feel liberated or feel like we're in control of our life, it starts with the personal discipline. Personal discipline. Now notice I said personal, because this is personal. It starts with the personal discipline. Not just like protesting, not just posting something on social media, but every day practicing a new system that's going to take you out of the surviving mode into the thriving mode. And you're saying like, how do I get there? I don't know how to do it. I just told you got to rewind this. Start small. Stack your habits. Remove the friction. Use systems over motivation. and use those spiritual tools. That is how you get there. That is how you stay there. Discipline is how we spend, how we eat, how we speak, how we show up, and how we dream. If you have a big dream, like you have this humongous dream, and I want to do this, and I want to go there, and I want to make this happen, and I want to, like, if that is your dream, then my question would be, what are the systems that are you using to get there? Or are you just dreaming? Because if you're just dreaming, you might as well stay asleep. But if you're ready to wake up and do something new and do something fresh, and as I said in the beginning, being disciplined is not about perfection, because guess what? We all fall sometimes. But sometimes the fall is about a bigger picture. And that's the most exciting thing to me, is the fact that I always believe that if you fall, if something happens, that happened because there is a much bigger picture. And sometimes we can't see the picture because we are so quote unquote focused on doing better that we don't see doors. But sometimes we are fearful, and we have to be pushed towards those things. So discipline is how we spend, eat, speak, show up for ourselves first. Show up for ourselves first and dream. That is discipline. That is how we're going to get to the next level. And I'm not talking about the next level with other people. I'm talking about the next level within yourself. The next level within yourself. So let's answer some questions. I know some of y'all may be thinking right now. One of the questions is, Damasha, how do I stay disciplined when I'm overwhelmed? Break it down. One task, 1 hour, 1 win. That's it. If you get overwhelmed and you want to stay disciplined, break it down, because maybe you're doing too much. One task. Just do one task at a time. It's okay to do one thing at a time. 1 hour. You don't gotta be all over the place like Damasha. 1 win. And when you win for the first time, you know you can win every time. You know you can win every time. It starts to give you this like real encouragement, this real power, this real like, okay, I did that. I'm excited. You pumped. Even if you get around somebody who's not as pumped as you, because they don't understand the discipline it took for you to make it to that step. We got to stop waiting for people to celebrate with us and just celebrate by ourselves. Because a lot of times people don't understand what you are going through in the inside, so they can't celebrate the way that you want them to celebrate. That's why every time I see one of those posts, it's like, people not supporting me, I just scroll by it. Because yeah, who cares if they don't? Somebody eventually will. But right now, you need to be celebrating yourself instead of wasting time about worrying about who not celebrating you, because who cares? Another question. What if no one, I forgot I put this in my notes, y'all. What if no one supports me? Then you support yourself. Discipline is so personal. It is so personal. I don't think I told anyone about my 2-year not spending a certain amount of money. I don't think I told anyone about that goal except for one person. That's because I had to tell them. It was personal. It didn't have nothing to do with anybody else. I don't care. It had nothing to do with anyone else. It was about me. It was about me doing something for me. It was about me displaying that discipline and that self-love to myself. If people supported me, fine. If they didn't support me, fine too. And we got to start getting into those spaces, because we start losing ourselves trying to look for people to support the areas that we're trying to discipline, the areas that they have no clue what we deal with and what battles we fight every single day trying to be disciplined in these spaces. Trying to remove the survival mindset and step into the thriving mindset. They have no clue. And we can't put the pressure on them to have a clue. Because discipline is about you being personal with yourself. It's about you creating a space for yourself. It's about you being in control of your habits and where they're taking me, where I'm going, what I want to do, how am I going to get there? And most important, how am I going to stay there and go to the next level after that? Another challenge, one more, and then I'm done. Pick one area of your life, right? One area of your life. Create a 5-day discipline plan and stick to it. And while you're sticking to it, journal your results. Journaling is so important because you get to look back and say, OMG, I was really thinking like this. I have like 20 journals. And sometimes when I sit down and I read, I'm like, what the heck was wrong with me? Like, what was going on? What was in my mind? What was I thinking? Where was I going? Where was I even going with this conversation? Because I got like 5 paragraphs of negative self-talk. What was happening? Pick one area and create a 5-day discipline plan. And if you gotta go, because if I have one more person say to me, I gotta go on chat GPT. If one more person say that to me, if you want to go on chat GPT and work out your 5-day discipline plan and follow it, by all means do it. If it's gonna help you get to the next level, go. Go. Whether it's your money, whether it's your mouth, whether it's your meals, choose it and commit. Commit to it. Commit to growth. And if you want to share it with me, text me, message me. I want to hear about it. I definitely want to hear about them. So we're going to breathe now, y'all. Again, so we're going to breathe in, because that was a lot. It was a lot. I gave you a lot of information, some tools to use, but just breathe in. And then we're going to breathe out. Listen, discipline is not about suffering. It's about alignment. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision. You need a system. And you need a soul. You can't continue to go through life not displaying love to yourself by being disciplined in some area of your life, because we all can use it in multiple areas, because it doesn't stop. I don't care how big you get, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It keeps going, because you'll be disciplined in the area and you'll gain that strength, and then something else, you'll see something else in your life, and then you'll start gaining that strength, and then you'll see something else in your life and you'll start gaining that strength, becoming more disciplined. Yeah, you're motivated. You got up this morning and you listened to Zipmouth Motivation and you feel empowered and you feel strengthened. But what kind of systems did you work out while you were listening? What kind of journal prompts did you do? What did your 5-day structure look like? What did you decide? What did you decide? So y'all know I can't leave this space without doing the affirmation. So let's do one affirmation. And the affirmation is, I am deeply disciplined because I am deeply desiring what's meant for me. And I'm going to say it again. I am deeply disciplined because I am deeply desiring what is meant for me. And that's the most powerful thing that you can do, is desire something for you and become deeply disciplined for that thing. Thank you all for tuning in to Zipmouth Motivation with Demasha K. Don't forget, we air every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. on 101.5. Starting back in June, we will be back on the Roku TV, Just TV. Don't forget, we'll be back on there in June. We are taking a break, and this has been a nice break because I've been able to do some recording. Big love to Takaya Divine Tea Company. Grab your focus blend. Tap in. Join us for some virtual sound healing. Until next time, stay bold, stay sacred, and zip the doubt. Zip the doubt. You can do this. You can become disciplined. You are empowered. You are motivated. Now get off of here. Get off of here and write down your 5-day discipline plan so you can create new habits and you can have the things that you really want and not just the things that you want. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And good night.